Oh, yep. Right. Hello, everybody. So this is, I think, the last one before lunch. We've got Charlotte here, and she's going to tell us about the great work she's been doing with young people and getting them involved in some gardening on the orchard in Newquay. So this is Charlotte Hill.
Leave one thing down.
Yeah, you can.
Just actually I can't. Sorry.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and I am your last stop before lunch, so I will try and keep to time. I'm Charlotte Hill. I've joined the Orchard as director quite recently, in the last sort of 3 months or so, but I've been involved with the Orchard for about 2 years, and more recently I've taken on the chair of the board. It is a wonderful place. It's a social enterprise, and it essentially brings together very successfully the things that I've been trying to work for over the last 30 years in Cornwall, which is about addressing inequity, access to affordable, nutritious food, access to connection, the importance of supporting people or helping people to realise that they are whole people and their conditions don't define them, their start in life doesn't define them, and we've all got a right to living a long, healthy life full of opportunity and richness, and that includes healthy relationships as well. So when I was given the opportunity to come and work for them as well, it was a bit like a dream come true, because in my time in Cornwall, I think the Newquay Orchard really does bring together all of the dimensions that are needed to really promote well-being and help people learn and actually help people to look after themselves and each other. So it all started in 2011, actually, when our founding visionary CEO, Luke Berkeley, came up with this idea of having an excellent green space in an urban community. And he spent some time thinking about how this could happen. And Newquay Orchard is actually on Duchy land in Newquay. And in 2015, the first tree was planted for the orchard. And the photo you can see here in 2021 is very much, this is our apple espalier, and is the walkthrough from the access to the site, which is by the sports centre in Newquay. And Trethera School is just sort of on the adjacent to that as well. And it is just part of a 7-acre site, which is now flourishing and an incredible place for nature and biodiversity. So what do we do? Well, the orchard was actually built by the community for the community. The orchard has been built on the spirit of volunteering, and the volunteering ethos goes through every aspect of what we do. It is a place where using green space, the outdoors, nature to promote well-being, to promote connection, to promote health is at the heart of what we do. It is about addressing inequity, social justice, health inequalities. In the Newquay area, I think the rate of obesity in children by the time they reach 11 is around 30% of children. And in terms of the older population and that feeling of isolation, it's at about 60%, and everything in between. So we are, the work we do is all about health promotion, changing the prognosis really in right across social and health and environmental areas. It is about food, it is about growing healthy food, it's about the process of growing and what that means. So the therapeutic impact of growing and learning, and how that can introduce people to foods they may never have come across before. And that's something that, is still a big issue. I think Harry touched on it, what some people might not come across butternut squash, for example. There's a lot of stuff that we might all take for granted in this room that, frankly, across Cornwall, we shouldn't take it for granted, because there are a lot of people who still don't have access to the basic nutrition that they need for physical and mental health and staying well. we're about learning. We're about learning and sharing knowledge, and that is again a core part of what we do, and how we work with people, and how we encourage people to work with us. So the things that we do well, we can sing about. The things that we don't know about, or the things that are a bit more specialist, we make connections with other organisations and people who are skilled in the things that might provide a more holistic offer for people who access our site. And it is all about nature. It is about presenting more opportunities to grow a richer biodiversity in the heart of what will be quite an urban community by the time the Nansleddon development reaches us. And so for those of you who don't know the Newquay area well, we're on Duchy land, and there's a very big housing development that is in the process of being built, and will be reaching our doors soon. So we are going to be very well placed in the wider community of Newquay. And ultimately, it is about, and it's been talked about today, that connection with people and planet. It is, we are so intrinsically linked as humans to the natural environment, to our ecosystem. And through the work we do, that is giving back to the environment, and the environment gives back to all of us. So I'm going to play you a very short 3-minute film, which kind of says it all. And there are a couple of our supporters in this room. We've got a great relationship with our local GP practice, and we've got some real advocates that we are really proud about in our health community locally. And we are really keen on building those relationships beyond primary care, but into mental health in particular. And as Molly just said, the area for development for me is around children and young people, because I don't need to tell anyone in this room how tough it is for them, not just as a result of the pandemic, but with climate crisis. So it's all about hopeful futures.
This project is built by the community for the community. So that's the aim of the orchard. It's not anything too prescriptive. It's just come and join in, be involved, get outside, be part of something in your community, feel good, and meet other people that also feel the same way and want the same things. So, and that's the magic of the orchard, really.
What is social prescription?
What is social prescription? So to me,
social prescribing specifically.
So it's a way of looking at you as a person and what you need to improve your health and well-being.
An opportunity to prescribe something that isn't drugs.
A way of encouraging people to get out there into the community to try and help build that confidence.
And working with nature, whether it be in the green space or blue space, for it to then improve their physical and mental health, but also to improve that of their families, their communities, and the planet. That makes sense?
It's invented time into the NHS system that GPs, because of capacity, just don't have. So social prescribing really, it unlocks that door with the NHS for organisations such as us to do what we do. The Orchard is a community space, but it started off as a 7-acre field on the outskirts of Newquay, next to the school and by the sports centre. It's now grown into everything that you see.
The breadth of activities is just so broad here. Horticulture, woodwork, environmental conservation, all these little activities which bring people together, but also without them necessarily realising it, they're being a little more active. We're working on that physical health.
And I guess a good example is I could give you a tablet for your blood pressure and it will treat your blood pressure, but that's all it's going to do. I can prescribe this for you instead. You can come here, you can socialise with people, you can get physically fit, you can spend time in the environment. You will have so many additional benefits, both physical and mental, that, you know, I can't prescribe that for you in a tablet form.
To us, everybody is in the same boat.
Everybody is a volunteer. We provide the level playing field that gives everybody that start.
And that's part of the beauty of the orchard. It's not putting people into boxes, it's community, it's coming together.
Reconnecting with nature makes people feel so much better. That's so obvious, and all the studies show it.
You know, I'm the furthest thing from a hippie. Look at my hairstyle. But people need to be in nature. It's vitally important. It calms. It just provides a basis for you to sort of realign.
So hopefully what you're seeing now and what you've heard all morning shows that it's real, it can be done. These are just some images of the activity that goes on at the orchard. We are about learning. We've got an open outdoor space. I don't know if anybody's been in last summer, for example, when we've had some fantastic productions take place at the orchard, and we've got a really exciting programme happening again this year. We've got a community cafe, Heart and Soul, which is going to offer additional opportunities for working with people in the community, but particularly young people and families, and growing skills around the importance of good nutrition and how you convert what you grow into healthy, tasty food. It's a place for anybody to come to just walk around, sit quietly, take in the atmosphere of the outdoors, and come into the cafe and meet people. And it's essentially what you like it to be. And we are looking all the time at how we continue to consolidate this as a model, how much we can learn from it, working with organisations, and particularly in terms of health and care and education, and how might this be replicated in other communities in a way that makes sense for that community. So it's a living, breathing, organic and organisation and space. And these are just some of the numbers, because obviously when we go for funding, we've got to prove the benefit of the and just how much that investment can generate. So you can see some really impressive numbers there, particularly around the increase in biodiversity that's increased by 500%. And that's only over the course of the last sort of 8 years or so. And if you look at the impact on people, and you can see 98% of the people who've come to work with us have increased their access to new activity. And importantly, 94% have reported improved well-being. So these are things that are real. This is evidence, and the evidence is because we know it makes a difference to people because they tell us. So how can you get involved with us? We are available to support adults and young people from 15 up. That's just the nature of our funding at the moment, but we are all the time looking at diversifying that. We've got some great schemes starting to develop with health. So we're about to appoint a new community health and wellbeing worker role that will be an outreach opportunity for us into the community, but will bring together all of the clinical and medical support and the holistic community therapeutic and voluntary sector support to meet need in the best way possible for the majority of people, and particularly those who need it most. Behaviour change is the crux of everything, and I think we've had lots of examples of that, and what the barriers to that can be for individuals. And that's what we're about, is trying to remove those barriers. So this is just the site plan, and you can see just how rich it is, that there's lots of spaces to sit and just be. There's lots of places if you want more contact in the community building. We've got a co-work space as well, which means that we can invite all sorts of different organisations to come and work from the site, or just come and do taster days and have visibility in the community. It is about getting the word out there in terms of what people can access. But this final word from one of our volunteers, Marie came to us through a referral from one of the housing associations, was really starting to struggle to look after herself. She had quite complex diabetes. She was getting quite low, depressed, losing the motivation to keep up her medical routine. And by coming to the orchard, and you can see that very happy face, she's gone from strength to strength. She is giving back because she is building new friendships, and she has become much better at managing her own health, which means she's reducing the risk of anything more serious happening. And also it's just reinvigorating her zest for life. So, you know, it is real, it can happen. Thank you.